welcome to After Hours at the Notting Hill Bookshop, the podcast where bookseller and author meet to discuss their favourite topic, books. I'm Rachel and I'm a bookseller here at Notting Hill, and today I'm joined by Emma Curtis. Emma, thank you so much for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome. To start, I have to ask, if you were to set me up on a blind date with a book, which book would you choose?
Oh, that's a very difficult question. I think I'd choose one that I love, my husband loves as well, and it's Caledonian Road by Andrew O'Hagan. It's a very London book, and there is so much in it. So if you're on a blind date with somebody, you could spend an awful lot of time talking.
Right.
But it's about a rather pleased with himself middle-aged writer, academic, and his downfall. And it includes Russian oligarchs, Caribbean chaps, Polish immigrants, it's human trafficking, it's everything, but it's all held together by his nemesis, who's the old lady who's a sitting tenant in his basement and makes his life absolute hell. And it's wonderful, wonderful book.
Brilliant. So very kind of fertile ground for
There's
conversation.
loads to talk about, politics, literature, irritating neighbours.
Excellent.
A lot.
That's just everything, isn't it then?
Yeah.
Lovely. Brilliant. So from reading your work, it's safe to say that you like the darker side of life and literature. What attracted you to the psychological thriller genre?
I didn't really realise what it was when I think a lot of psychological thriller writers kind of fall into it by mistake. You know, they write a book and it came at a time, my first one, when suddenly everybody wanted psychological thrillers, and I happened to have written something that fit that. And so going forward, that was what I was. So it was a bit of a surprise, but it's when you look at this, there are a lot of them, but when you look at it historically, it started a long time ago. It's not a new genre. I think it was just given a new name. But from Clarissa, Clarissa to, Daphne du Maurier, and there's so even Jane Eyre. There's so much.
Would you say that you're particularly influenced by a lot of these kind of classic forerunners to psychological thriller?
I've read the classics a lot as a child, and things like Jane Eyre I read over and over again, and my favourite bits were the sort of psychological, the stuck in the red room bit, and the bit when her friend dies, the really sort of dark areas. But I did also love romance.
Okay, yes.
Which is, I tried to write romance, but I wasn't warm and fluffy enough for that, so
it has to be on the darker side.
It has to be on the darker side,
And then, so a lot of your work is also set in a very kind of domestic setting. Is it that kind of cross between sort of romance and the relationships with also that then dark element? Do you think that's why you were drawn to
I think so.
domestic?
I don't think you can get away from romance because it drives so many things. And I quite often have a romantic core to something, whether it's husband and wife or somebody in love with somebody they shouldn't be in love with. Usually turns out to be somebody very unpleasant. But I think you need drivers, and it can't always be revenge and money. And often it's, money's got nothing to do with it. It's more about the strength of feelings. And I think it's more of a teenage thing when you feel that incredibly powerful attraction and nothing else matters, and it's utter misery. But if you put that into the mind of a grown-up, when that happens, it's absolutely devastating. And that can end in murder.
Brilliant,
Or anything.
Quite, So kind of emotionally rich, that sort of seeing someone through different stages.
Think back, not so long ago, to some hellish crush you had on somebody. And you'd have done anything practically.
Wow, okay. Do you think
maybe that's just me?
Maybe that darkness is within us all. We could all become the topic of a psychological thriller book.
Well, absolutely. I think that's their attraction to people. It's that could have happened to me thing.
Wow, yes. And I guess that's what makes it so palpable when you read, like particularly I just read the Psychiatrist here. It's that whole thing of just one decision can cause such a tsunami of other awful things happening, and really that could kind of be anyone, and it does kind of take your breath away and create that shock, which I think is so brilliant. And
you
so
see it happening, don't you? In the news with people, something terrible. It's not their fault, but it is their fault. And They have been awful. There's the case of that poor, well, no, it's a bit dark actually, the woman who drove into the school and she collapsed or something. But when something like that happens, when you lose control of something in your life, and somebody gets hurt, or the repercussions, but you're essentially a good person, it's just so awful. And I think with a lot of these books, the baddies aren't really bad. They've just been driven to do something, make really terrible judgments. And
the wonderful kind of moral ambiguity, and so much of it plays out in these grey areas. And
I think so. Yeah.
With that as well, how do you play with, I know what struck me was how you play with kind of memory in The Psychiatrist as well, and looking back on something. Is that something that's of interest to you, the sort of recollection of an event?
Yeah, I think memory is really interesting, because not everybody remembers things differently, and some people, my daughter comes up with memories that, I mean, they just didn't happen. And luckily it's benign, it's nothing awful. But I think memory is very important. Anything is loss of memory is a real trope, isn't it? Give somebody a bash on the head and
So within the kind of wider genre, you covered many different topics in your work, from kind of domestic violence, face blindness, fame, defamation, the power of celebrity. How do these kind of smaller themes come to you? Where do you get your inspiration from?
I was trying to think with each one. When I Find You, which is one about face blindness, I've just been listening to the radio, and Stephen Fry, and it's the first time I'd ever heard about face blindness when he was describing it. And then I left it for a few years, but it kept nagging at me. And it was a wonderful one to research. And then you'll be talking to somebody at a party about it, and they'll say, "Oh, I know somebody."
Right. Yeah.
So I got to talk to a few people, but the research really does interest me. Okay. So if there's something I can get my teeth into. One had I wasn't allowed to say Jehovah's Witness, but that side of things that I researched. But often it just comes from a conversation.
Right.
I think it's just because we're in that world of I'm not children and schools and all that, which is I was when I was starting. Yeah. And I was a school secretary, which is really fertile ground
for drama.
Yeah, mothers doing really mad things and saying terrible things. They come into the school office and you're a bit like a grandmother.
Right.
So they would just offload.
Yes.
Or just burst into tears, or do something appalling that you're just thinking. They do realise we can hear.
Yes.
So you see a lot of, especially female behaviour.
Right.
There, schools can drive people mad.
I've
had my moments myself.
My mum was also a school secretary, so I can relate. I've heard stories. So in The Psychiatrist, you open it with some song lyrics from a fictional band, which then reoccur throughout the narrative at very poignant moments. Do you find that, is music part of your creative process at all?
I'm really unmusical.
Really? Okay.
But I've really enjoyed writing lyrics for that. So they probably don't scan properly, they probably don't, but I'm completely tone deaf.
Okay, yeah.
But I listen to music, but not boy bands so much.
Not boy bands, yeah.
I only discovered Take That after when they came back.
Did you have to research them for your book and have that as part of it? Yeah.
Yeah. No, music is not a huge thing for me.
Interesting. So when you're composing a thriller book, do you sort of start with the twist and then sort of work outwards, or do you start with the plot and have the twist sort of come up and surprise you as you're writing?
That's more, I start with the situation usually.
Yes.
Something that interests me, and then I try and figure out how that could be a story.
Okay.
Because very brilliant situations you think of quite often, or in the middle of another book and you think about this fantastic thing, but unless you can sit down and work out how it's going to sustain, it's very seductive, the brand new squeaky premise, a brilliant premise.
Yes, yeah.
So I think if I think of them while I'm doing something else, I just have a list on my file full of any, it's just called Any Crap Idea, just just write it down.
Read it all in, yeah.
And then months later I look at them and there's nothing there. But yes, it is. I'm trying to think what sparked that one. I think it was the young girl with the crush thing, because I had a really embarrassing crush on my history teacher when I was 15, and it was so awful, and I was so miserable and so deeply, deeply in love, and I wanted to, but I never told anybody. It was this huge secret. I was so embarrassed about it, and the way this girl acts and the mistakes she makes. Not that I did anything like that, but
you can relate to the driving force.
I could relate to it, and I really wanted to kind of, because it was, I mean, people, when you're my age as I am, and it was in the 70s, and it's very difficult now because you're not kind of allowed to say, well, it was different back then, and the attitudes were different, but attitudes were different, and the girls at school used to go after the men. I mean, they would absolutely make a beeline, and they'd wander around dressed inappropriately and hover. So it was tricky.
Yeah. Would you say you're a very sort of character-driven writer?
I think I'm more plot-driven.
You're more plot, okay.
The characters kind of happen, but I don't think about them too much.
They happen within the plot.
The plots are so complicated to write that you spend so much time. The characters are more of they seem to be okay actually, but they're a bit of a wing and a prayer, and they come through the plot and the way they act, rather than me thinking I'm going to do this.
I was going to ask actually about kind of the complicated plot. So when you're going through different perspectives, different timelines, how on earth do you keep track
of all
the stories? It's horrible.
It's a disaster.
Do you have like notes on your fridge? Or?
Well, I have a big whiteboard and masses, about 150 tiny little pretty magnets, and then I print out little 2-sentence chapter things and stick them all over and move them around in the hope that it'll all kind of sort itself out.
A bit like a crime scene investigation somehow.
But I'm forever going back and unpicking and stitching something in somewhere else and taking that out and trying to remember whether the dog died then or the dog died then. And it's such hard work.
Yeah, and it's so crucial if you get one of those details wrong, then suddenly the whole plot is falling apart. Yeah.
I can't leave it alone. Right up to the proof, I'm rereading.
Yeah, making sure it's consistent.
Yeah.
But again, in Psychiatrist, there's a twist at the end where I was like, from pages ago? Like, where did that come from?
I hope it worked.
And then remembered. I was like, oh yeah, I knew that would be important. So in The Psychiatrist, there are a number of very complicated and rich relationships between the characters, particularly the women. Would you care to, without giving away too many details about the books to our listeners, would you care to elaborate a bit more on what that was like to write?
Yeah, I'd love to. I love writing women. I mean, we're encouraged to write women rather than men, but I do love writing them. There's Lorna and Elise, and Lorna is, she's an estate agent. She's not exactly social climbing, but she feels slightly like staff in the community. So when Elise comes along, who lives in an extremely smart street, and she gets involved with when she sells her the house, she sees her as a kind of social way in. And Elise sees, the reason Elise loves her is because Elise's child is an absolute nightmare, and Laura's child is very sweet and seems to be able to, it's one child who seems to be able to play with the nightmare kid. So, but then there are other things that come into play, like Lorna fancies Elise's husband, who is a former boy band pop star.
Yes.
But it's Lorna really in her hang-ups, and I remember once working, because as a school secretary you're in the community as well, and I had one of my best friend's children went to the school, so I went to the birthday party of this child, and the other mothers were there from the school, and I did get a what are you doing there here comment, which really, it's like social anxiety anyway, but that it was awful, so I've put that in there. So it's not social climbing, it's just that sort of longing to be accepted, but feeling because you sell round there that, or you whatever it is you work, that you're on a different kind of plane to everybody else.
More like kind of exploration of kind of social platforms in a way, and the kind of
they're very
disparity between
nuanced.
how people live.
They are really nuanced. The moment you sell something to somebody, or you're in a sort of position, whatever, then they can't help it. They see that.
Yes. yeah.
So it's very tricky.
Yes, yeah. There's also a great relationship between them, and complicated relationship between mother and daughter in this book.
Yeah, not great.
Yes, how did you come up with that and the kind of messiness of it?
I think that Lorna was just very, she's lovely, but she's very selfish.
Uh-huh.
And it does, in the end, it was kind of more about her. But because she was making mistakes and she knew she was making mistakes, she was using her daughter to cover them up. And yeah, she did not behave well.
No. I think it's a great reflection on kind of how within a family one action can just affect so many sort of generations afterwards, and what we hand down to the people
it's
that
so
we love
destructive.
ultimately. Yeah. Very destructive love in this book. Yeah. Yes. Excellent. Is there, if someone were to read as we hope many people do, when someone reads The Psychiatrist, what do you want them to take away from it?
Gosh, I've never thought about that with my books. Well, first of all, I want them to have whizzed through it.
Yeah.
Because you get reviews, and there either seems to be fall into the slow burner camp, or the sort of paid right from the beginning, kind of mad. Yeah. Mine tend to fall into the slow burner, whatever I do. It doesn't mean boring, it just means you don't kill somebody on page one.
It's unravelling and
building.
So
I just want people to be really interested in the characters and convinced by them, and just really enjoy the books. They're not literary books, that they're commercial fiction that you hopefully read on your holiday and that kind of thing. I really just want people to really just enjoy the read.
I would say that's the experience I had. I enjoyed it, but at the same time, in the best way, I was wanting to shout through the pages. Don't do that, and tear at my hair. It was like a kind of strange torture, but so enjoyable and so quick to get through as well. I found it quite pacey personally.
Oh, good.
But yes, brilliant read, and I highly recommend. To close, would you mind taking this little bag that I have, our little tote bag, and going through our shop and picking out some of your favourite reads to tell us about and recommend to our listeners?
So these are my recommendations from your bookshelves. Gone with the Wind, because when I was a teenager I read this probably 5 times and saw the film whenever it came on the cinema. And it was the first book that completely and utterly engrossed me. First really long book. I was very proud the first time I read it, because it was something like 1,000 pages long. But probably not PC these days, but absolutely fantastic book. I also recommend this as an author, as a psychological suspense author. This is for me the perfect book. This is a book I wish I'd written. I've read this a couple of times just to kind of work out how he does it, but it's so readable and it's so good. J.P. Delaney, The Girl Before. And my third book, Yellowface. This is another one as an author. It's an author's read, but it's also brilliant. It's so accurate and so stomach-churningly accurate about how the publishing industry works. I just think it's incredible that publishers were chilled enough to put it out there, because it says it all. So if you're, but it's also a really good story, even if you're not interested in writing and publishing. So those are my recommendations. So
Emma, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been an absolute delight to talk to you. And I will be recommending The Psychiatrist for everyone's holiday reading list.
Oh.
Lovely.
Thank you very much, and thank you so much for having me. It's been lovely. I didn't know what to expect at all. It's been so nice. Lovely room. And
I'm so glad.
So much fun.
I'm so glad. And you're welcome back anytime to come and sign some books and say hello.
Oh, thank you very much. I will.